I just said, well, it's my dad. I mean, you know, he's not a sculpturist, he's not an artist, he's a farmer that can literally do anything with his hands. And he just was so creative, and he always had a positive attitude, no matter what. We've been through some tough times on the farm, and you work nonstop, you know, 7 days a week, all year long, but he always had a good attitude. Unfortunately, to farm for a living, you have to find other creative ways to pay the bills because farming doesn't necessarily do that. So he opened the corn maze as, you know, a way to help, and we really did think it was a unique idea. At the time, we were one of the only ones within hours, and it's just, he kept thinking of new ideas and ways to draw people. For instance, the pumpkin cannons. We went to pumpkin chunkin' when only a couple hundred people used to go, and no one really knew what it was, and he came home and said, you know, I'm going to build our own. The first one he built completely just from pieces. The second one, our deuce, is an old military deuce, and he decided it would look cooler if the cannon was on a deuce. So we also tried to aim to make it more kid-friendly. So it features easier controls, a button to shoot instead of the lever like the original cannon, but I still think our original cannon is our best one. It's the thrill, it's a lot more accurate, the thrill of pulling the handle, it's a blast. My dad ended up passing away in December of last year, and for us to recover was actually quite difficult, but we knew that if we wanted to keep everything that my father worked so hard to build, we had to keep moving. We couldn't sit around. We had to keep moving, keep things going, and honestly, it was a drive that pushed us to make sure everything looked its best, and, you know, to really make sure that nothing changed and that, you know, we didn't just drop off. And honestly, I think that's how I dealt with his passing much better, is I was surrounded by everything he ever did, and I was able to just, you know, pick up and keep doing what he loved, and it's what I love also. So I think he had his moments, but he was rather optimistic and grateful, I would say. I mean, he did a lot in his